What is going on, guys? I love coming on here. I don't know why. Like, it makes me happy when I'm like on video helping you guys, but I freaking hate the editing. Like, okay, I love it, but it's so time consuming that I hate it. You know what I mean? But love, hate, doesn't matter. The love always overturns the, I guess, the time consumption. Anyway, we're going to be covering this evening, right now. It's dark out, it's not this morning. We're going to be covering how to come up with your repair costs. I'm going to cover a really quick way to do it, and then I'm going to cover the best way to do it. Actually, really just 3 different ways, I guess, would be how much it is. I have a marker, there it is. We're doing purple today. It's going to be purple. So let's get into it. Let's do it. So repair costs. I think that's how you spell it. I don't know for sure if that's how you spell it. Okay, I don't know. Don't care. I'm not an English major. All right, so don't hate on me if that's wrong. All right. So repair costs. We're gonna do 10, 15, 25, 35. 10, 15, 25, 35. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. You can create whichever grouping you want, and I'll explain that in a minute. I'm just going to explain how to use the groupings, then we'll get into how to create those groupings for quick estimates and then more detailed estimates, okay? So, we have property A. It's got a big old crack in it. That's a crack. It's supposed to be a crack. It's got a crack in it or whatever. That's our house we're looking at. It is 1,000 square foot. Alright, so that's our property. That's what we're going off of. 1,000 square foot house. We have 10, 15, 25, 35. Duplicate this house 4 times. 4 different scenarios real quick. Scenario number 1. This house, you know, probably needs like a little bit of paint, needs some outlets, some doorknobs, some of that general stuff, you know. That's $10 a square foot. This is a 1,000 square foot house. 1,000 times 10 is what? No idea. I'm using my calculator. I feel like I should know that off the top of my head. I know kind of what I think it is, but I'm not going to say it on camera because that means I'm dumb if I'm wrong. It's 10,000. Yep, 10,000. Okay. So we can assume, okay, if this needs doorknobs, paint, maybe a little bit of drywall work, you know, a little bit of a grouping of different things, and I'll explain it more in a second. It's going to cost us about 10 grand. Quick way to come up with ideas. So I have a 5 here. I should note that, like $5 a square foot is generally what I do for paint and a little bit of doorknobs and a little bit of drywall work. And I say that because drywall for me is about $3 a square foot. Paint for me is about $2 a square foot, so that's $5 a square foot. Pretty simple, okay? If there's not a lot of drywall, then it'll eat up some of that cost and doorknobs and things like that. So, it'll cost about $10,000. If it was $5 a square foot, it would be $5,000. So that's a quick estimate. $10 a square foot times whatever the square foot is, about $1,000 or about $10,000. Same thing with 15. You know, that'd be 15,000, 25,000, 35,000, and so on. 1,000 square foot place, $35 a square foot. We're talking like this place needs gutted. Okay, we're talking vanities. We're talking about everything. The other thing I really don't count in that all the time is the roof. The roof is a pretty big cost, you know, upwards of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a roof. So you want to kind of keep that in mind. But we're going to go over about how to make these numbers for your quick offers, okay, for your being able to throw that, you know, that number of what it's going to cost roughly in there quickly. And then when you do your due diligence, I'm going to give you guys something that's freaking fire, an awesome document that you're going to use. You're going to go around, you're going to gather these numbers yourself and get a real good way to come up with these numbers. So, okay, so that's a quick way to do it. quick way, boom, repair cost, create a square footage basis off of the cost of what these things normally cost. Okay, you can create your groupings so that when you walk through, whatever you're seeing most commonly in your area, whether it be the drywall or the paint or whatever, you find out how much paint costs, you find out how much drywall costs on average in your area, and you create a value of that, and then you just multiply it by the square footage, and that's about roughly what your repair cost will be. All right, so we're gonna do one more scenario. I'm gonna talk to you guys about how I'm gonna kind of like draw real quick like an Excel document kind of looking thing. We're gonna cover real quick. Oh gosh. Okay. You know what? This is happening. Anyway, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go out and you're gonna talk to painters. You're gonna talk to drywall guys. You're gonna talk to painters, drywall. You're gonna go to granite places or you know, places that have kitchens, NAC guy, a window guy. What else? There's a whole list of them. It's gonna be in the Excel document. I'm gonna make it stupid simple for you guys, okay? There's a list of people you're gonna want to contact. There's two ways to do this. You're gonna either go to Lowe's and Home Depot. Okay, and you're gonna, in this Excel document that I give you, it's gonna list, it's gonna be an Excel document here, and it's gonna have names, and it's gonna have prices, and it's gonna have square feet, and then it's gonna have a total. All right, so you're gonna wanna go out there and you're gonna wanna go to Home Depot and you're gonna wanna look at doorknobs. And on a piece of paper, a notepad, like, I don't know, something like this, okay, on something like this, okay, you're gonna walk around Home Depot and you're gonna write down, okay, doorknobs. They're about $20 a doorknob. Then you're gonna write on here, doorknobs equal $20. Then you're gonna go around, you're gonna look at fans. Okay, fans equal this many dollars. Then you're gonna look at drywall. You're gonna say, okay, drywall itself equals this many dollars. Then you're gonna look at everything. You're gonna freaking basically build a house at Home Depot and Lowe's, and you're gonna get the average cost of these different items. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna populate that inside of this document so that when you go walk through a house, you can take this document, okay, and whether you have an iPad with you or whatever, when you're doing your due diligence, I'm not talking about your first walkthrough, don't do this freaking on your first walkthrough. Those previous numbers, the 10, 15, whatever, those numbers are to be able to make your offers. This, what we're talking about now, is for your due diligence. It's when you're going to be creating that kind of like that bigger, more refined offer. All right, that's when you might bring your GC through, or you might bring one of your guys through. You can call and talk to a GC about these different costs because they know what it will cost. But, you know, it's better just to get on Google and search painters in my local area. Get in your local RIAs and ask, how much is it costing you guys per square foot on paint right now? Ask on Facebook pages. How much does it cost for a drywall guy around here? You want a price between cheap drywall guys and you want a price for expensive drywall guys, because there's difference in, you know, skill sets. And if you're dealing with a $350,000 house compared to a $100,000 house, that's going to be different price per square feet. Because you're not going to hire a guy that's $5 a square foot for drywall to do a $100,000 house. This is not going to happen. All right, so kitchens, you're going to want to get an average. Walk through Lowe's and Home Depot. Find out how much kitchens cost. Go to granite counter places and find out how much granite countertops cost per square foot. You're going to have different price things for different, you know, level of houses. But you're going to know that because you're going to know the most common, you know, price house that you're dealing with in your market. And you're going to populate this Excel document with all that information, and what you're going to do is, based off what you populate on this Excel document, you're going to create those previous numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, okay? And you're going to look on this document, you're going to say, okay, so most commonly the houses that I'm dealing with, they need new paint pretty much always, at least minimum. They might need a roof, and they might need this, that, and the other. And you're going to create these groupings of numbers for yourself. And you're gonna know subconsciously that the $10 grouping, okay, the $10 per square foot grouping includes doing paint, that includes doing maybe a little bit of some doorknobs, and so on. Okay, you're gonna create these groupings for yourselves based off of the most common stuff that you see and do. Generally speaking, $10 a square foot is kind of like that property that, you know, it needs paint, needs a little bit of drywall, it's kind of and $35 a square foot is like a full gut, like I said earlier. So, but when you populate this list, you're going to get the most accurate data, and that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to do painters, drywall, kitchens, AC, windows, siding, siding, what else? I just said something a little bit ago, kind of reminded me of one, but I don't remember what it is now. But that's pretty much it. That's going to be what you want to do. And once you come up with this, then after you do your big walkthrough, you go ahead and you add in, like, what if one of the rooms is gutted? Let's just say you walk through a 1,000 square foot house, one of the rooms is gutted, but all the other rooms are fine. Because you can add square footage in here, when you go there, you should grab, I don't have it right next to me, but there are these little measures. You can either bring a tape measure with you, or I have a laser. You just put it against the wall on both sides, and it gives me the square footage of that. So you can get the square footage of that room, and then you can bring it back and say, okay, the square footage of that room itself was 10 by 10. So, you know, it's got the square footage. I plug the square footage in here, and it's going to cost probably about this much to just do that room, which is going to enable you to give the best offer, which is going to allow you to be able to get more deals that other people would ignore, because you're more accurate with your numbers. You know what you can do for your buyers. And you can even do things with your buyers later on if you really want to, and say, hey, this is what I've done. You can provide this as a resource to your buyers and say, hey, this is what I've done. This is my research. This is not something that you should take for you know, to be 100% accurate, but, you know, this is what we provide with our buyers when they buy the property, so that they're one step ahead, and that's something maybe they'll come back to you again just because you have that level of service, and so on. But that's pretty it. I mean, getting your offers or getting your repair costs for properties is pretty straightforward. Break it down by a price per square foot, as well as some more detailed ones, which I'll provide. There's going to be a link in the description below. Click on it. It'll go to a page. You can download the Excel document, and I hope that it helps you out, like a lot. You know what I mean? Hope it helps you out. If this was of value to you, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your comments, questions, all that good stuff below. Hit me up on Instagram, Tyler Austin Original, and I think that's about it. Hopefully this helps, guys. See you soon.